Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead with a homemade incubator update. Now, we had 34 eggs, and as you can see, we have 9 chicks. This is not bad because I had so many power outage issues that I didn't think any of the eggs were going to survive, which shows Mother Nature is a lot more resilient than I gave her credit for. This little guy here, he had to have a bath because he was so slow coming out that the shell dried to him. The egg white, what was left of the egg white, dried on him. I'm going to say that it would have worked better. I got, what, a 25 to 28% hatch rate, which is not great. Commercial hatcheries do between 67 and 100. Now, my homemade incubator was I made it for under $25. If I had plugged it into a more reliable power source, my issue was the dimmer switch, because I had to have the light turned down so low because the styrofoam is such a great insulator, it would get too hot in there. The dimmer switch would have to have the light turned down, and it was a 60-watt bulb, that if the power flickered, the dimmer switch would actually shut the light off. And then you had to turn it, literally turn it back on. So that dimmer switch cost me $10. So that was the biggest expense for my homemade incubator. What I am recommending is that you spend $25 instead of $10 and take your $25 incubator up to $40 and buy yourself a wafer incubator thermostat. You can still use the light, but the thermostat will turn on and off as the temperature dictates as you set it. And you can get them on eBay for anywhere from $15 to $20. So it all depends on where you get it. You could maybe get it at a farm supply store, I don't know, but you can buy all the parts. I was just trying to keep the expenses down, and I paid for it in chicks. So I'm going to call it a half decent success, but if you want a better hatch rate, you're going to spend the extra $10 on the thermostat. And that way, oh, and also humidity was an issue because the incubator was so big. So the egg turner left a lot of room for extra humidity. So what I would do is I would put a long bread pan or 2 bread pans in with big car washing sponges and warm water, and that would rectify the humidity issue. I am going to keep my homemade incubator. I am going to invest in a wafer thermostat, and I'm going to follow my own instructions. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. It was not a complete wash, but it'll do. Let's have a look. Somebody asked me to candle the duck eggs because it is day 14, and they wanted to see what day 14 duck eggs look like. Okay, so the lighting is not the best, but as you can see, there's some, try and get this, if you see that line right there, that's a vein. That is a vein right there. And the rest of the egg looks pretty solid inside. There's our air pocket. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's check a turkey egg. We're going to go down gradually in color. As you can see here, we have a nice air pocket right there. And you can see some veins right here, all around here. So the turkey eggs are looking good. This is a dark Cornish egg. And this has only been a week, but you can see it, whoops, it is not candling clear, which means there is a darkness in here That means, and I can very faintly see some eggs, that is fertile. Now let's look at one of our chocolate or BC Morans. Now, this is going to be more difficult for the simple reason that this shell is so dark. But if we look really carefully, you can see the lightness here and the darkness here. That means it's not candling clear, which means it is fertile. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead saying, spend the extra $15, take it from a $25 incubator to a $40 incubator, and you still have a good savings with a better quality item. Take care. Take care. Bye-bye.